Okay. All right, everybody, we are going to get started. Want to welcome you to our annual Rising Senior College Night. So students and parents, we're so happy you're here tonight to join us. Again, we're going to make sure that our recording is going. I heard somebody sees a message that the recording has stopped, so let's just double check that. We are very grateful you're here and taking your time tonight. We hope this is going to be a valuable and informative session for everybody. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us. Okay, without any further ado, we're very happy tonight to have one of our esteemed assistant principals, Mrs. Ramadi, with us. She's going to say a few words. I'm going to pass the mic to Mrs. Ramadi.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. I know that there's going to be a lot of information shared with you all. Mr. Yarmus has done a great job organizing this event for us tonight. You're going to learn about how to access the services that are available to you through the counseling department and through the College and Career Center with Mr. Nalda. So many resources available to you online and through Naviance. We're going to walk you through all of that. I'm excited to be here, especially because I have a rising senior too, and he goes to Frederick County Schools, and honestly, his school doesn't do this for the family. So I'm here just as eager to learn this information along with you. So looking forward to a good night, and thank you in advance to Mr. Yarmus and his team for putting this together for us.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ramadi, for being here and for your support, and for reminding me that I too have a junior in high school this year, along with a freshman in high school and an 8th grader. So I'm excited to be here tonight as well too. And he's at home watching this as well. So there's hopefully great information for all of us to learn from tonight. It's an exciting process and we're all thrilled to be a part of it. I'm going to pass the mic to some members of our team that are here tonight who've taken their time to join us. We'll start with Mrs. Fellows.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ellen Fellows, counselor and SSL coordinator. I'm so excited to be with you. I have a senior in college myself, so I've been through this, and also a 24-year-old. So we've been through all of this, and we're so excited to help you all as well. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Grinley.
Hi, everyone. I am Mr. Grinley. I'm also a counselor here at Seneca Valley High School. It's a pleasure to be on this Zoom with everyone this evening.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Martinez. I'm a counselor as well. I'm really excited to be here tonight. Looking forward to giving you all the information, and I'll pass it on to Mr. Nalda.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Mr. Nalda in the College and Career Center, and we're excited to bring all this helpful information to everyone tonight, so thank you for being here. At this point, we'd like to direct everyone, if they have any questions at all throughout the presentation, that feel free to use your chat. We are going to create a question bin sheet that will be posted on our website tomorrow. So again, if at any point during this presentation, feel free to use the chat, type in your questions. We'll record those, answer those, and post them on the website tomorrow. Before we get started with our agenda, we'd like to share a couple of things that we're proud of, some stats from the class of 2023. As you can see on the screen, we're very excited. Some students have already committed to Johns Hopkins University, University of Maryland, George Washington University, American, Virginia Tech, Towson, Swarthmore, Virginia Tech, Penn State, Salisbury, McDaniel, Montgomery College, and more. And at this point, we also have over 500 reported college acceptances, including UMBC, Ohio State, Temple, NC State, James Madison, Kansas State, Indiana, Hampton, Auburn, Clark Atlanta, University of Delaware, Hawaii Pacific, and University of Connecticut. As of today, we're very proud to also share that our scholarship amounts are at over $4.5 million. We've had multiple full ride scholarships, including 2 to the University of Maryland, 1 to Swarthmore College under the Quest Bridge Scholarship, which is one of the most competitive scholarships in the nation. We've had multiple Rail Scholarship winners. And we've also had multiple need-based grant awardees from the state of Maryland to assist with tuition and other expenses. And some of these students have been awarded from the state of Maryland only $20,200 in guaranteed access grants. So that goes a long way, and that's something that we'll be sharing how that works along with other information. Thank you.
That's amazing news. Mr. Naldo, we're privileged to have Mr. Naldo here. He's done just amazing work here at Seneca Valley, and we're so proud of our students and so excited for our students and our families as they're embarking on these amazing opportunities. I want to give everybody an outline of the agenda for tonight. We've already gotten to meet the members of our team that are here tonight. We're going to hear about a quick review of the graduation requirements for Montgomery County. We know that most of you are quite familiar with that already, and we're not going to belabor that, but a quick overview of that. We'll also hear about the importance of rigor and taking rigorous classes in your senior year and how critical that is for your college application. So we'll hear about our IB offerings, our AP classes, and our dual enrollment opportunities here. Then we're going to delve right into the post-secondary opportunities that await you and the options that unfold for you. What many of you are here to learn more about, we're going to really get into the nuts and bolts of the college application process and how to navigate it here at Seneca Valley. We're going to talk about Naviance and its critical role that it plays, both in the college search and in the transmission of documents to universities. We'll hear about standardized testing, a bit about NCAA athletics, financial aid. We'll hear about farms and fee waivers, and we'll close. And I want to remind, I know we've had a lot of people come in to this session since we first started. So just to remind you all that we are recording this. It'll be posted to the Seneca Valley website tomorrow. And when you have a question, if you don't hear an answer to a question that you have, there's a good chance, I'm going to cross my fingers, that you'll hear the answer before the end of the presentation. But if you don't hear an answer to a question you have, please put that question in the chat. We're going to compile those questions into a question bin and post that question and answer bin on the Seneca Valley website tomorrow. So we will hear your question and the question will be answered. You won't necessarily see that answer here tonight, but it will be available for you tomorrow. Okay, that being said, I'm going to turn the mic back over to Mrs. Fellows.
All right. Hello, everybody. So we're just quickly going to show you the graduation requirements.
Mrs. Fellows.
Yes. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, sorry. Good evening. So I'm going over the graduation requirements, and most of the seniors have already had most of these credits, and we won't go over each and every single one as this will be here for you. Students will be taking an English class of some sort, some in IB, some in honors and English for the year. And then we also, every single senior must be in a math class, even if they have their 4 credits of math. And as you can see, all the rest of the credits are listed there. And then moving down, you can also see that in addition to the credits you need to graduate, you also need the program completer, which is included in the credits, as well as 75 SSL hours and the MCAP testing. So all of those are required for graduation. The last day to request a change for your schedule for next year to make sure you include everything is June 30th of this year. All righty. So some of the courses your students may be taking that'll be really wonderful for the colleges is to have some IB courses in the schedule, and it's not too late to add some of those. We've even had students take an IB English course in their senior year, even if they were already only in English, honors English for their junior year. It really positively impacts the admissions if you even are taking those courses and developing your critical thinking, your organization and time management skills. And they often perform better academically at Seneca Valley and beyond. So it's not too late to add an IB course if you have not done so already. It's our utmost challenging and rigorous courses that you can take in so many different subject areas, including the arts. Okay, in addition, we have advanced placement courses. A lot of your students have already done that in government and history and computer science and many other classes. So once again, it's not too late to add that to your schedule. It shows the colleges you're taking rigorous courses, and it also they will register for the exams for AP in the fall, and some of those students can earn college credit by scoring well on those exams. Okay, dual enrollment is very, very popular. It makes students feel as though they're already college students as they have those classes at the end of the day. And we have, you have to qualify to be admitted. And we have Miss Blaine, who's wonderful at helping you to see if you qualify for those courses. It's not too late to add those to your schedule as well. Students are taught at Seneca Valley, and they're at the periods 7 and 8, the last 2 periods of the day, by Montgomery College professors. But they can also, in addition to the courses we have at Seneca Valley, they can take online or on-campus courses at Montgomery College to just boost up that transcript for the colleges. Let's see, certain classes are also dual credit. You can earn dual credit for both college and for high school. So just contact Miss Blaine if you're interested. And also here are the courses in the fall that we will hold for dual enrollment. Whoops. And so Nutrition 101 and Business 101, very popular courses. Just email Miss Blaine if you would like to add that to your schedule for next year.
Sorry, Miss Fellows, I'm going to interrupt for just a second. There is an update, and for some reason the old slide is here. So just so everybody knows, our 2 courses that are offered next year are going to be Soc 105, which is social problems and issues, and Health 121.
Oh, so sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's mine. So sorry about that, everybody. But Health 121, which is nutrition for fitness and wellness. So those are actually the fall classes. These are our spring, or these are last fall's classes.
Okay.
Sorry, Miss Fellows.
Sorry about that.
All right, it's Mr. Martinez again. So let's actually talk about what students do after high school. There are many things that students can do. So a lot of students go, 4-year college, university, 2-year college, military, trade school, workforce, apprenticeship, internship, gap years. There's many things students can do after high school. The important thing is just to have a plan for them. So kind of talking a little bit more about it. So 4-year college or university, these are the undergraduate programs that lead to a bachelor's degree in a specific area of study. But there are 2 different types of colleges or university, whether it's public or private. So a public school is primarily funded by the state. And these public institutions have different tuition rates, whether you're in state or out of state, and the cost. So it costs differently for every single student and all that stuff. But these public universities are normally University of Maryland, Towson, Bowie, a lot of these public colleges. While private schools or private universities are not funded by our nonprofit organizations. They do not receive primary funding from the state. And these private colleges and universities charge 1 tuition rate for all their students, regardless of in-state or out-of-state. And then like these schools are Johns Hopkins, Georgetown. These are like the private schools around our area. And then we have 2-year colleges or community colleges. A 2-year degree program most commonly results in an associate's degree, and these degrees may be earned at a community, technical, or vocational colleges, such as Montgomery College. Some students do go to community college first for the first 2 years, then transfer out and go to a 4-year college to obtain their bachelor's degree. Other options, so military service, a lot of students do go to military routes, so Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, and National Guard. They can do part-time or full-time. There are many benefits that come along with this, with scholarships and other incentives are available to assist students with paying for college tuition and other related costs. Then there's the U.S. Military Service Academy appointments. The military offers unique educational opportunities for students who plan to pursue a college degree afterwards. So these options are for world-class education and deeper understanding of military culture. So there are a couple of requirements for this. So there's letters of recommendation, high school transcripts through the 11th grade, SAT scores, and preferably from the spring of their junior year. So all academies except the Coast Guard require nominations for from an elected official. So we have a link down there just for more information as well that will be available to you guys once we post this up. And then kind of continuing on other career or college or career options, so trade or vocational schools. So these are also known as technical schools. So you can learn trades like culinary arts, automotive technology, cosmetology, different career pathways. Then we have apprenticeships or internships. So it's just a method in which trainees learn the craft by doing hands-on stuff, working with an actual, skilled worker, knowing how, to do the job hands-on. Then we have just going into the workforce. So many students, post-secondary education isn't in their plans. So they go straight into the workforce, or some students just take a gap year to work, save up, travel, intern, and all these little things that they can do and then go back to college or to the university. Lastly, is the MC to Universities of Shady Grove pathway. So this is just a pathway that many students use. I think it's a great program. So they start off at Montgomery College, they get their associate's degree, and it's a seamless transfer to the Universities of Shady Grove. So University of Shady Grove have 9 top Maryland public universities all in one campus in Rockville, Maryland. So they take classes at University of Shady Grove but apply and earn their degree directly from the university offering your program. So students go to the University of Shady Grove and apply for to take classes at UMD, but at Universities of Shady Grove, they will graduate with a UMD diploma, same as a student who goes to the UMD in College Park. So it's a great program. There's a lot of opportunities. It's cost effective. It's an easier pathway, time saving. So it's a great opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Martinez. Mr. Yarmus here again, and I'm going to talk a bit about the college application process. Again, I know so many of you are excited and perhaps, like my son, nervous about the process. It can feel overwhelming and complex. And we've worked really hard here at Seneca Valley to take away a little bit of that stress and that complexity, and kind of break it down into a sequential and linear process for you. So we hope that if you follow instruction students, if you follow steps in order, things will work out really easily and be straightforward. There's work to do for you. It's not easy, but we think the process can be less scary when it's organized and clear. So that's been a big goal here at Seneca. So I want to start by showing you that everything that we are all talking about, in addition to posting this slideshow on the website, everything about the process is available to you now on Seneca Valley's website. So where do you find that? You'd go to Seneca Valley, you click on the College and Career tab that the arrow is pointing to on the top of the screen. And that would take you to our College and Career Center's website. And right smack dab in the middle of that website, you'll see a red link that says Seniors, click here. So seniors, rising seniors, that's you. If you haven't done that yet, if you haven't looked at that document, the seniors click here, college application packet, please do that. Do that now, do that later. It's going to take you to what you see on the right side of the screen, which is a document with multiple steps. Some students like to print it out. If you'd like a paper copy, come on into the counseling office and we'll provide you with a paper copy. And that's going to walk you through step by step everything you need to do. And we're going to walk you through that here tonight. So the application process can start now. And so that's one of the most common questions that students ask us is like, what should I be doing? What can I be doing now? So we've tried to break that down as things you can do now, I'm going to talk about on this slide, and things you can do later in the summer. So starting now, and many of you have started this already in your high school career, if not earlier, is about identification of potential schools of interest to you. So there's ways you can do that using Naviance, using the Supermatch tool, for example, on Naviance. All sorts of wonderful research tools out there, but we recommend Naviance. Finding schools that interest you and adding them to the Naviance list of schools you're interested in. And we have specific instructions about that on our website. Students that are highly organized with this process typically are more successful with the process. So we encourage you to get organized by using a school tracker or an application tracker, and we've made one for you. There's a link to it right here. There's a link on the application packet. It's simply a spreadsheet that helps you kind of keep track of dates and deadlines. It helps prevent you from kind of getting lost in all these different bits of information that you need to keep track of. So consider using a spreadsheet. You're going to update your Naviance list of colleges I'm thinking about, remembering that's a fluid thing. As you learn about schools, as you hear about scholarships, you can add schools to your list and take schools away. We encourage you now to start working, if you haven't already, on your brag sheet. We're going to hear more about that later. And to work on your college essay prompts, and we'll hear more about that in some detail too. Now's a great time to start having conversations with teachers who might be willing to write you a letter of recommendation. So again, we're going to hear more about that later. You can, it's never too soon to create your Common Application account. So many of our students now are using the Common App as their primary tool, and we'll hear more about that as well. Most of you juniors just took the SAT in March. We hope you did well. But know that Seneca Valley offers the SAT here. We have an upcoming May date. There's a June test. And what has become exceedingly popular, I'll tell you as the SAT supervisor here, is the August SAT. That's massive. And if you're considering signing up for that, please do so as soon as you can sign up. It fills up quickly. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly, your junior year is critically important to the opportunities that will present themselves when colleges look at you. So it's so important that you attend class and you focus in class and do the best you can. Your junior year grades matter greatly when it comes to colleges. So as the summer rolls around, you'll kind of go into step 2 or phase 2. You'll move colleges from the colleges I'm thinking about list in Naviance to the colleges I'm applying to. You will finish and submit your brag sheet to your counselor, to a teacher who has agreed to write your letter of recommendation if needed. You'll finish up your college essays. You'll request letters of recommendation through Naviance. Again, all of these things we'll hear more about in just a few minutes. After August 1, you can start actually submitting applications through the Common App. You'll be matching your Common App with your Naviance account and completing the FERPA waiver. You'll think about that August SAT if you need. You'll work through your College Board account to send your SAT scores, or through ACT to send your ACT scores to colleges. You'll submit your official transcript request through Naviance, and you'll complete and submit your FAFSA, your MDCAPS, and other important financial aid forms. And we'll hear more about that stuff as well. I am going to talk here with a little more depth about the brag sheet. So students, we have a large school. We have a large graduating class next year. As much as we counselors and your teachers hope that we know you well, of course, there's so much about you that we might not know. And the brag sheet is your opportunity to, as the name implies, to brag about yourself. Some people don't like to brag about themselves, and that's good. But this is your opportunity to tell as much about yourself that can kind of color your application and give your counselor or teacher the information they need to write you a glowing letter of recommendation. So the link to the brag sheet is on the website. Your English teachers, if they haven't already, will be sharing this with you as well as something to do for their class. And the brag sheet helps us and helps your teachers really provide that insight to the schools that they look for. We want to hear about your athletics, your extracurriculars, your life outside of school, your student service learning opportunities that you've participated in, things that make you you, things that might make you stand out to these universities. And for those of you that are bound for Montgomery College and have made the decision 100% that MC is your place, either to start there and achieve an associate's or to start there and transfer. For those, you don't need a letter of recommendation. But ask your counselor if you have any specific questions about that and the brag sheet process. Let me move this here. Sorry. Okay, so on this screen here, we're going to just talk about the submission and then completion of college applications. So as you move through your identification of schools and start creating that list of schools you're interested in and schools you're applying to, it's so important that you pay attention to the application deadlines. And that's why we encourage the use of our application tracker. Organization is key. It's going to keep you on track. Obviously, schools that have the earliest deadlines are those that you'd want to complete and target the first. There are a handful of schools, my alma mater, University of North Carolina, being one of them, that has an October 15th early deadline. Some Southern schools have those October 15th deadlines. Much more common are the November 1st deadlines, like University of Maryland for early action. And you'll hear more about the different types of deadlines later on. But you're going to prioritize schools with the earliest deadlines first. And one of the key messages I would like to make sure that you hear tonight is that you do not have to wait to submit your application. So once you've completed your application, you feel like you've done a thorough and really accurate job with all the aspects of the application, go ahead and submit it. There's no need to wait for a counselor to submit a letter of recommendation or for the school to submit your transcript. Now that things are electronic, schools and colleges are creating digital profiles for you, almost like a virtual folder. So think of it as there's different parts of your file, and they don't all have to arrive at the same time. They all have to arrive by the deadline, but you're going to do your part and submit your application when you're ready. Again, if you are just bound for Montgomery College, you will use the MC application through the website. We can help you with that here, and you can start doing that about midway through October of senior year. Important note for students who are dual enrollment students in attendance tonight, it's important that you do not reapply to Montgomery College if you intend to apply to or attend Montgomery College. You are already a Montgomery College student as a dual enrollment student. So reapplying creates a duplicate account for you in their system, which creates complications. So please make sure you don't reapply to MC. Okay, and with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Mr. Grinley.
Hello again. So yes, this is Mr. Grinley. I'm going to take the next several minutes to talk about the types of applications, college applications. So we have the Common App, also known as the Common Application. It is a online college application that's used by over 900 colleges and universities in the United States and abroad. So for many colleges you apply to, the Common App is the only application that you'll have to submit. So you will fill out one application for multiple colleges. The application is linked to the student's Naviance account, and the student must match their Naviance account to their Common App account and waive FERPA. So waiving FERPA allows us to send letters of recommendations, transcripts, and other information directly to colleges and universities. And when creating a Common App account, students should use their personal and professional email. So you want to avoid using your MCPS email address. All right, another type of college application we have is the Common Black College application. So with this one here, you can apply to over 60 HBCU colleges and universities for just $20. There's also scholarship opportunities for eligible students. And it's important to note that Howard, Bowie State, and Hampton are currently not on the Common Black application. So you'll want to check their website for the latest list of participating schools. And for other school-specific applications, instructions on how to apply are available directly on the college's website. So what is the difference between types of college application deadlines? So here on the left, you see several different types. We have early action, early decision, regular decision, priority, and rolling. So we'll go into each one of those here in the next couple slides. So the first umbrella for application deadlines we have is the non-binding deadline. So with non-binding, students are not restricted from applying to other colleges, and they have until May 1st to consider their options and confirm enrollment. So within non-binding, the different types are early action or priority. So students apply early and receive a decision well in advance of the institution's regular response date. So students interested in the University of Maryland College Park should apply by the early action deadline, which is November 1st. So this is key. So if you're interested in the University of Maryland, you want to make sure your information is in before November 1st. We also have regular decision. So students submit an application by a specified date and receive a decision in a clearly stated period of time. And rolling admission. So institutions review applications as they are submitted and render admissions decisions throughout the admission cycle. The next umbrella for application deadlines falls under binding. So binding, students are responsible for determining and following restrictions. So early decision, students make a commitment to a first choice school where, if admitted, they definitely will enroll. The application deadline and decision deadline occur early. This is regardless of cost, financial aid, and other factors. So once you're committed, you are expected to attend that school. And counselors will review this type of application with every student and parent to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what an early decision deadline is.
Okay, back to Mrs. Fellows here. I hope you're doing well listening to all this information. Remember, everything is on the website, so don't stress if you're feeling like you need to memorize all this. So Naviance is our free comprehensive online program that assists students and parents with all of this information: college and career planning, college application process, and also allows the counselors and teachers to submit electronic transcripts and letters of recommendation. So this is a tool that students have been using for quite some time. And it's how we connect everything together and send all of our information to the colleges. And it also allows you to find out a great deal of information. So we have these wonderful videos. Everything is linked where you can figure out so many different things. You can take student tours. You can list your colleges you're applying to and keep building your list and changing your list, and it's a working document that you can keep editing. You can request letters of recommendation from your teachers on there. You can match your Common App with your Naviance account. And so all these videos are here for you. The list is endless on what you can do on Naviance. It's such a wonderful tool. So when you have a question, you can definitely see what you need to do through Naviance. There's so many tutorials on how to do everything. There's also a single sign-on. So there's a link to learn how to do that. The students already know how to do that as well, and they can show you. And it's so easy. You can sign in from anywhere. So we have, if you can see the features on here, you can update your list of schools under colleges I'm applying to. And this is really important to continually update this. If you put a list of colleges you're applying to and then you add some later, you're going to want to make sure you always put the college you're applying to on this list, or we will not know that your student is applying to that college if you add one later. If it's not on Naviance, we need to have it on Naviance. And I know you'll have it on your Common App or whatever application you're using, but we need to see it on Naviance as well to be able to send it to that school. This is also where you can match your Common App. And as you can see, the arrow there, it'll show you once you have your Common App account, you can match it with your Naviance account, and that's how everything is sent to the colleges. And you don't have to stress, because we always send everything by the deadline. And like Mr. Yarma said, you go ahead and send your information, we send our information, and everything links up, so you don't have to worry. Where is it? Where's the counselor's stuff? It links, RN links all the way with all of your information. It's a wonderful tool. Okay, so once you've matched your accounts, you'll also need to sign the FERPA waiver, which is saying that you agree to not read any of the college recommendation letters written for you. You're going to waive your FERPA. It allows us to submit your documents. Every single college student must waive their FERPA, or we won't be able to send all that information. And these are the directions on how to waive your FERPA. I won't go through all of that on here because it'll confuse you, but you have the directions right here for you, so you don't have to wonder, how do I waive my FERPA? It's right here for you. Okay. And then here's where you update your list of colleges you're applying to. And you can see how a sample list looks and all of that information there, showing you if your college is a Common App type of application. It'll have a CA in that little computer screen, so you can see what type of application that college accepts. And then the letters of recommendation tab. So as you can see, this top little column at the top where it says name and self-discovery, careers, etc., you'll see the colleges tab. You go under that and you can see letters of recommendation, and that's where your student can request your teacher's letter of recommendation. You determine if the college requires teacher recommendations. Some schools don't require a recommendation from a teacher, but many do, by visiting the school's website or checking the quick list of schools, which is linked there. And if a letter is required, you can, you have to see how many. Is it 2 letters needed? If so, preferably ask your academic core teachers to write those letters. You want to start thinking about that. You can even start thinking about it now, or early next year, very early next year, but we ask you to pick those teachers and ask them in person. You want to make sure you're asking them before you send them a request to write the letter of recommendation. The teachers get lots of students asking them, so you want to ask them at least 15 school days before the deadline, but earlier is better. You can even put a bug in their ear now and then follow up again with them in the summer and into early early fall. But don't wait till the last minute because they're trying to write all of these letters and they want to make the letter good for you. The counselors write recommendations for all our seniors applying to any college or trade school. The counselor recommendations are different than the teacher recommendations. So you complete and submit brag sheets before or at the same time as a transcript request. The school profile is sent with the counselor letter and no requests are needed. But we need your brag sheet. Okay, so we definitely want your brag sheet to write the best letter. You do not have to send a request for the counselor to write a letter because we will do that, but we do want your brag sheet because we want to write the absolute best letter for you. Okay, so the request transcripts through Naviance. Okay, so where it says manage transcripts, that is where you will request for us to send the transcript to the college. Okay, you will request an initial transcript when you first apply, and then you will also request a mid-year transcript because sometimes they want to see how you did the first half of your senior year. So seniors, remember that you want to make sure you're doing well all next year as well, because they're going to see your transcript even after you're accepted. Okay.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the college application process timeline. So beginning in the summer and the fall, students, you're going to want to follow up with teachers regarding your letters of recommendation that you just heard about. So at least 2 weeks before the deadline, you want to request your transcript through Naviance and submit college applications through the appropriate college portals. You'll also want to fill out your FAFSA starting on October 1st. And you want to have this done before December 31st. You'll need your parents' prior year taxes to do that. And then you want to fill out MD-CAP's financial aid application if you do plan to attend a school in the state of Maryland. And then some important common application deadline dates are October 15th, November 1st, November 15th, December 1st, and January 1st. And you also want to be applying for scholarships. So starting in the summer and fall, you want to start looking at scholarships. And then as we move into the second semester of your senior year, so January through June, you want to maintain high grades as colleges will get mid-year and final year reports and transcripts. Any decisions and financial aid packages will begin to roll in for you. And you're going to want to make your school decision by May 1st. And then also prepare for any out-of-pocket costs like housing and acceptance deposits. And once again, you want to continue to look for scholarships to help to reduce the costs. So college testing, so there's different types of college entrance exams. So one of the most popular ones obviously is the SAT. So this test is administered in August, October, November, December, March, May, June. So all of those dates I just mentioned are offered here at Seneca Valley High School. There's a link to register. The other type of entrance exam is the ACT. So this is offered in July, September, October, December, February, April, and June. There's also a test of English as a foreign language. And if you do plan to attend MC, you'll want to do the AccuPlacer test. And if you want to prepare for these exams, you can do test prep through Khan Academy. That's a good resource. And how to send scores to colleges. So the SAT and the test of English as a foreign language, you'll request those directly through College Board. For the ACT, you're going to want to request that directly from the ACT. And the AccuPlacer is a test that's completed when you get to MC. And moving on to athletics in college. So you need to be certified by the NCAA Eligibility Center to compete at a Division I or II school. So in order to do that, you're going to want to create a certification account. And on the website, they will guide you through the process. If you plan to compete at a Division III school, but you're not sure where you want to compete, you're still going to want to create a profile page. And then the official test scores for the NCAA, you're going to use code 9999 for that. And our NCAA contacts at Seneca Valley are Ms. Wentz, who is our registrar in the counseling office, and Mr. Nalda, who's with us tonight.
Hello, everybody. I'll take back over. This is Mr. Nalda from the Career Center. And I want to talk about the importance of farms and fee waivers. So if any students are free or reduced, are on free or reduced lunch, or are eligible to be on free or reduced lunch, the benefits of this is that you can get SAT or ACT waivers. So you can talk to your counselor, you can talk to me. But the other thing that's important related to what we're talking about now is your college applications would also be free. So once you request that fee waiver, with that status, your counselor can go into Naviance, or I can go into Naviance and waive your fees, so you wouldn't have to pay those college application fees. This would be the same for the NCAA registration fee waiver. So for that profile account, or the account that you would need for Division I and II, there is a fee associated with it. So you would be eligible for a fee waiver to get that taken care of. And then also, if you're on free or reduced lunch, once you get to the point of where we're at, where seniors are now, we may be able to, we meaning me or the counselors, may be able to reach out to colleges or universities to waive the deposit fee to hold your spot when you plan to enroll. A big important number at the bottom of the screen there, many students ask, that's our school code. So that's Seneca Valley High School school code. So if you ever see that school or CEEB code, ours is 210582. That'll be on that college application packet. And we also have it posted on the College and Career Center website. So you can find that there. Moving into financial aid and the differences of the different types of financial aid. So I have grants or scholarships. These typically don't have to be repaid. So there's different eligibility requirements for scholarships and grants. Some are need-based, some are based on athletic ability, some are based on academic ability, leadership, talent, and service. So we strongly suggest that, follow those weekly notes, check out the scholarships page, and check out the scholarships that are available to students. And then grants are also offered when you apply to colleges. So in some cases, not only will you receive an acceptance for colleges, you could also receive a grant or a scholarship from a college that's based on your merit or your grades. Student work study, which is something that you would look into or explore when you fill out the FAFSA. That's another way to help students pay for tuition or related costs. This simply means that you get a job on campus. Maybe you work in the dining hall, maybe you work in the library, but instead of being paid, you would get paid, this money would go toward your tuition and fees. There's a question on the FAFSA, and again, we'll talk about this multiple times as we get ready for filling out the FAFSA in the fall. They'll ask you a question, are you interested in federal work study? And there's yes, no, or not sure. We typically recommend students to say yes or not sure. That way, if you select no, then the offer's off the table. You can always decide later that you're not interested. And then the last one there is the one that we all try to avoid for you, because these are loans. We want to minimize these as much as possible, which is why we share so much information as far as scholarships and grants, so we can try to minimize those, because those do need to be repaid. All right, the big one is where kind of your financial aid starts. The process starts with filling out the FAFSA. So that's the free application for federal student aid. So this is financial aid from the federal government. So the amount of aid is determined by your household income. So you'll sit with your mom or dad, students will sit with mom and dad or your family and fill out the FAFSA. You'll have your tax returns ready, and based on your household income, once you go through the FAFSA, then you may or may not qualify for something called a Pell Grant. The maximum for last year or this year coming up for school, because our seniors now will be going to college, year 2023 to 24, the maximum was $6,895. And again, this is a grant, so it does not have to be repaid. Okay. Typically, seniors can start filling out their FAFSA starting October 1st. We're hoping that's still the case because they are bringing out a new FAFSA form for the upcoming year. It's supposed to be simpler with less questions. But any updates, again, I will make sure, and the counseling department will make sure that you have all of those updates. So we're crossing our fingers that we can start October 1st to give you as much time as possible. And when you go, or when class of 2024 goes to fill out the FAFSA, they'll fill out the 24-25 FAFSA, because that will be the first school year you'll be in college. Typically, like was said before, we like for students to fill this out as soon as possible once that window opens. Most Maryland colleges, the deadline, they'd like to see it before January 1st, because they want to see what your financial aid picture looks like in order to be able to determine if you qualify for financial aid from the school as well. So we want students to get in that mindset once that FAFSA opens to try to finish that up as early as possible. Typically, the state of Maryland deadline, which will be on the next page, is March 1st. A couple of things to think about. There are some scams out there, so never pay for the FAFSA. It's free. That's why free is in the name of FAFSA. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me or your counselors if you have any questions. If you plan to attend a college or university in the state of Maryland, you should also create an MD CAPS account, MD standing for Maryland. So MD CAPS is the application tool that we use, and that's from the Maryland Higher Education Commission. Chances are, if you qualify for some sort of federal Pell Grant from the federal government, you may also qualify for aid from the state of Maryland. So again, if you're looking to go to a school in the state of Maryland, we want you to fill out both forms to see what you qualify for. Okay, some do have GPA requirements. We can go over those at a later time. We do have those linked later. But again, that typical state or usual state deadline is March 1st every year. So once you do the FAFSA and do the MD CAPS. What's nice about MD CAPS is that you've done all the hard work with the FAFSA. Once you create an account with MD CAPS, they take your information from the FAFSA. It's not like you're doing two different FAFSAs. They use that info and they match it based on your social security number. And then they determine what kind of state aid or what the amount of state aid you could possibly qualify for. Now, for students that are non-eligible, there's something called the MISFA. Students that may not have a social security number, may not have their citizenship yet, they can still qualify for many of the same state programs and state aid through MD CAPS, but you would fill out something called the MISFA. And that's that'll be linked later as well. So just to list a couple of the awards there, I talked before about the FAFSA. This is why it's very important that we strongly suggest that you fill these out just to see what you qualify for. So I don't know if you remember, but the maximum amount for the FAFSA from the federal government was $6,895. But as you can see there for the guaranteed access grant, it's $20,200. So if you take those two amounts and add them together, that goes significantly towards one of the state schools. And if you happen to get a merit-based or grades-based scholarship on top of these two figures, that goes a long way to paying for your school. So again, we want all these options open for you. Fill out everything to see what you qualify for, and then supplement with scholarships that you fill out. So we want you to make sure that you're doing everything according to the deadline and qualifying for everything that you could qualify for, and making sure you turn in everything on time. There is something I want to point out called the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship. Let's say you don't qualify for federal student aid because maybe the household income is too high. If you're thinking about going to MC, you may still qualify for something called the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship, which will help you pay for your 2 years at MC or any community college in the state of Maryland. So again, we're making sure we're getting in the habit of filling out those forms on time, reading our financial aid letters, and then making that decision once we get closer to May 1st. A couple of other opportunities. We have delegate scholarships, senatorial scholarships, and these are based on where you live and your elected officials. There's something called MD Elect that I send out every year, so you can figure out who your representatives are, and you can apply for those scholarships. Many times they don't have an income requirement. So maybe you did, again, if you didn't qualify for a lot of help with the FAFSA or MD CAPS, you can still qualify for some of these scholarships and still get some help. And the delegates are typically 1,000, and then the senatorial or 4,000, but they give it to you 1,000 per year. And then there's a link there for all of the Maryland scholarships. A little bit, I talked a little bit before about merit versus need-based. So need-based would be based on your family's financial situation, and merit would be on your academic accomplishments. So colleges will review your grades, they'll look at your GPA, maybe your test scores, and award grants or scholarships that way. And that would come in the form of when you apply to schools. I think I said this before, but not only you may get an acceptance letter from the school, but you may also be awarded a scholarship. So if you ever need help, your counselors or I am here to help you kind of understand what those financial aid award letters mean and help you process so you can kind of get the bottom line to see how colleges, how much colleges cost and how much would be out of pocket versus all of your financial aid. And hopefully it's not a lot in the form of loans, which is why we share all these resources with you. So finding scholarships, go to the College and Career Center page. I'll be hosting summer workshops to go over many of these processes. I'll break them down. I'll have a day with just the college process. I'll have a day with financial aid. I'll have a day to look at scholarships. So once I send those out as we get towards the end of the year, feel free to join me and we can go over these things individually or in small groups, and I can help you and support you as you get ready for the fall. These last two websites, FastWeb and Going Merry, I strongly suggest all students apply and create an account on those because those match scholarships and they email them to you based on your profile. And then again, for those of you that are reading your weekly notes, as juniors, they'll continue and there'll be a lot more scholarship opportunities as seniors. So make sure you pay attention to those throughout the year and when we come back in the fall. Financial aid, as far as the academic common market, I'll briefly go through that. If there is a unique major that's not offered in the state of Maryland, we have an agreement with southern states. I can't remember exactly how many, but if there's a unique major that the state of Maryland does not offer, you can go to a school in another state but pay in-state tuition. So this is a good opportunity for students that may want to go out of state and may want to save some money. So you can go to this website and you can explore the unique majors. I believe there's like music therapy. There's a couple of other unique majors that maybe you haven't even thought of that might combine your interests. So if that's an interest you have, I can certainly help you, or your counselors can help you kind of explore what's out there and see what colleges offer them. And then what to do again with your free time this summer. Look at a lot of the things that we talked about, prepare for the fall, come to the workshops, research colleges. If you get a chance, visit the colleges that you may be thinking about. There's a good way to get a perspective about a school is to get a feel of the campus. So if you can, visit and go over these documents and reach out to us because we're here to support you. So thank you. I'll pass it back to Mr. Yarmus.
Well, we nailed the timing. It's just about 8 o'clock and we managed to cross the finish line. I know students and families, that was a lot of information in the hour. First of all, I want to thank the team here, our tremendous counseling services team. Thanks to Mr. Nalda, Mrs. Fellows, Mr. Grinley, Mr. Martinez, Ms. Ramadi for taking time away from their families to be with us tonight. Thank you all, students and families, for taking your time to be here tonight. We hope this was informational and useful. Again, the recording of this meeting will be on the website tomorrow, along with the slides. For those of you that posted questions in the chat, those questions will be answered also and linked to the website tomorrow. If you have any last questions, I'll leave the Zoom open for just a few minutes for the chat. You'll be able to type your question into the chat, and we will transfer those into the Google Doc that we'll post on the site tomorrow. This is an exciting time for you all, you rising seniors. We're thrilled to be a part of the journey with you, and best of luck. Remember that we are here for you. We are here to help you and support you throughout this ride. So please don't be shy. Come by the counseling office, come by the College and Career Center, and we're here to help you and answer your questions. Thank you all so much and have a great night.